Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return.
Message deleted.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
In Milton, crews are on the scene of an accident, Highway 87 at Stubbs Road. We also have an accident in the off-ramp to Pensacola Boulevard from I-10 West. That's exit 10. And a stalled vehicle on Fairfield Drive at North Davis Highway. On the Bayway eastbound from I-65 to the Eastern Shore, it's a 22-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Get a quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
The Uncle Henry Show, weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Here's Proverbs 23, the King James Version. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. The New International Version. It is to a man's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel. Proverbs 23.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
It says the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you. I appreciate very much you listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I really do. Once again, here we are together, me and you. Just the two of us trying to figure out what is going on. What's going on? What's going on in the world around us? If you have any answers for me or questions, 251-479-2723. That's the telephone number if you want to be a part of the show. If you want to bring something forward, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723 or 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. As usual, there's numerous things to talk about on today's Uncle Henry Show. Now, before I get into all the different things that I got lined up that I want to talk about with you, there was some Lagniappe, the LagniappeMobile.com, the website covering local news. They have a story today about young Mayor Spiro. He spoke today to the Downtown Mobile Alliance. They had a breakfast with the mayor event. I guess this was yesterday. He spoke to him yesterday, young Mayor Spiro. And once again, the topic of Water Street came up. This just burns me up. It just burns me up. Look, Young Mayor Spiro, this is what he said to the Downtown Mobile Alliance about Water Street. You may remember Water Street. You can get from one interstate to another interstate connector. You remember that? There's a lot of traffic on it. It's a 4-lane. There's a bunch of traffic on it. According to the story by Lamyak, young Mayor Spiro envisions a park in the middle of Water Street. Yeah. It went from having 4 lanes to then they wanted to make the lanes more narrow to slow traffic down. Now they're talking about somehow putting a park in the middle of the street. A park in the middle of the street. Now, the story goes on to explain, this is all about making sure that you, the citizen, can get to the waterfront, that you're not blocked by all these pesky trucks, these pesky dadgum cars and trucks on this. Why would they even use a street, these pesky trucks and cars? This is all about getting people across the road so they can go look at the water. Now, the story says city councilors have approved an application to the federal government for up to $25 million in grants to make Water Street more safe for pedestrians. Yeah, forget the vehicles. It's the pedestrians. Now, this story explains, according to the Alabama Department of Transportation, an average of 25,500 vehicles passed the ALDOT traffic counters every day in 2020. 25,000 vehicles every day on Water Street, going from I-165 over to there and they're talking about making it 1 lane each way for traffic, and the mayor envisioning some kind of a park in the middle of it. You know, why in this country we are now at war with our actual roads and streets. We will think, man, it would be nice to drive down there. Let's build a road. And so we build a road, the taxpayers build a road, and then people start saying, well, we need to put a traffic circle on that road. Or we need to put a speed bump. People are using this road that we built so that people could use the road. We've got to put a speed bump on there. And we've got to put a traffic table, some type of traffic table on there. We've got to put every dadgum thing we can on the road to stop these cars from using a road that we built so the cars could ride on it. What is going on with people in this country with their this war on roads, war on streets? Why build a street for cars if you don't want cars on the street? Look, I apologize for yelling about this. I've explained this through the years. I've told you this story over and over again. I remember when they were putting this connection through to I-165, the original plan was to have an elevated expressway so that the traffic would go above Water Street. And all of the downtown folks just said, no, we can't have that. If we have an elevated expressway, no one will come to downtown Mobile. It would just destroy downtown Mobile. Our lives will be a nightmare if we have an elevated expressway. So they put it at ground level. They abandoned the original plan and put it at ground level. And every dadgum year that it's been at ground level, more people complain about it. Can you imagine that we built a road and now there's actually a vehicle on it? How dare these vehicles? How dare these vehicles get on this road? Why in this country? And I've heard the city council members say that one of the top requests they get from neighborhoods is people want more speed bumps. Oh yeah, they love them. People have become addicted to them. They love the speed bumps. They love the traffic circles, the speed tables. They're just getting addicted to them. Eventually, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to get on little scooters and ride around? Is that the future? Is you'll get on a little scooter and ride around. And if you want to go somewhere further, you'll have to get on mass transit. Is that the future that we're building toward? Well, if so, I'm glad I was born when I was, when we were actually able to drive cars, beautiful, beautiful vehicles like Mustangs and GTOs, all up and down the roads, Ford Fairlanes. I'm glad I lived through that era where a car could actually drive on a dead gum road.
In Milton, watch for a crash with injury and road blockage on Highway 87 at Stubbs Road. Also, we still have an accident in the exit ramp to Pensacola Boulevard from I-10 West. That's exit 10. Stalled vehicle on Fairfield Drive at North Davis Highway. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. This Springfest at Lowe's, get extra big deals on select Holland pavers, 3 for $1, plus save $70.
Oh, a sale on pavers. It's exciting. I don't know if anybody's watching on YouTube. Let me check. Now activating the YouTube on my desktop. And there's an increasingly small number of people watching on YouTube. Hello to Richard Harvey, Pat Nelly. Hello to Pat. Bama Big Man, Jerome and Rebecca Lockwood, using an account together. It's more economical to use an account together, I guess. Hello to you. The Love Freak 69. KP of shirtbutter.com. Larry Morting. Thank you all for looking in, you small number of people looking in on the YouTube. Going to be back on the radio here in about 3 minutes. Roll Tide, Bama Big Man. Thank you for the Roll Tide. Not hearing enough of them during this time of year. Now, what can I tell you about while waiting to go back on to the radio? I'll have to look. See if we can get the weird news cranked up. Lately, been a lot of robot weird news. I have more robot news for the actual radio listener today, because I think it's time to start talking about. I used to think, no, the robots are not coming, and now they're coming. They are. Did you see Melania walking with one? All right, back on the radio here in about 2 minutes. Let's see. What's in the weird news file? A man in Washington State, has been arrested for the 98th time. Now, this is making national news. Thurston County, Washington. And they say his name has been withheld. I don't know why. Arrested for the 98th time. The sheriff there says the man allegedly led deputies on a high-speed chase after stealing thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from multiple stores. 4 convictions on the record, 27 misdemeanors. 98th time. Now, a lot of people in the country, when they hear this weird news story related to them by a DJ in their local town, they may think, wow, that's a lot of times. You know, in Mobile, I know we've had people arrested like over 50 times. That was in the news years ago. They're probably up to in their 70th or 80th time. This is probably way more common than the weird news people understand when they put it into the weird news file. Oh, here's by the way, I want to thank the Lord for not making me afraid of spiders. There are some spiders in the United States that are now spreading rapidly in Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, California, Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. And they are They've got bright red and yellow colors, this type of spider, and they grow to the size of an adult human's hand. Now, see, I don't think that's bad because they're easier to spot and easier to kill. If they're bigger, easier target for somebody like me I'm not very good with aim, except in certain situations that I will not explain. But this is a spider that I might be able to squish if it's big enough.
Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up. Telephone lines are open for you. If you got something you want to talk about, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com if you'd rather just send me a little message. I noticed today that Mr. Fetterman, you know this Senator Fetterman that's on Fox News all the time? A Democrat, but all the Republicans on TV, they love having him on TV because every now and again he sounds like a Republican. He voted against this SAVE Act thing. Everybody been talking about the SAVE Act, photo ID. But there was something in the bill that he couldn't vote for it. So, and I'm sick of seeing him on TV. Everybody, I don't know what it is. I guess if you want to get known as a Democrat, get a lot of TV coverage, if you say something just slightly right-leaning, they'll just rush to put you on television. And it's a load of BS. This Fetterman, he's on. How many does he have? Does he actually have an office next to Hannity's office at Fox News? This Fetterman guy. But he didn't vote for that SAVE Act. Oh, he'll go on TV and say, "Oh, I'm in favor of photo ID." Wouldn't vote for. When it comes down to actually getting it done, no. Mr. Fetterman, no. He was with the Democrats today. Remember that the next time he's put on TV and the radio all the time. Remember that. And speaking of Sean Hannity, caller, hang on, I'm coming right to you. We're at war. We're at war. And I turned on Fox last night. I thought, maybe there's something in this war I can learn from Fox. Turn on Fox News, maybe learn something about the war. I do have a loved one that is quite involved in this. So I turned on Fox News, and instead of talking about the war or the SAVE Act or anything like that, Hannity is talking to Clay from the Clay and Buck show about Jimmy Kimmel. Now, come on now. If you're going to call yourself a news network, can you dribble some news out there for me from time to time? Instead of, hey, let's sit around and talk about Jimmy Kimmel for a while. No. More people watch Hannity than watch Kimmel. So why would you even bring him up? I'm sorry, I just had to complain a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, let me go to the phones. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Down, boy, down. Calm down. It's good to see you fired up about everything, though, sir. I appreciate you, and I'm with you on everything you said today about Water Street. I've called your show before. I think LD and I have had a little back and forth on stuff. My business, my livelihood depends on the waterfront. And if people don't straighten up, take a look, and realize what drives Mobile, it's not people walking downtown. It's not people walking across to the waterfront. I think there's already a waterfront park down there that nobody goes to. It is the businesses and the vessels and the maritime industry in Mobile that drives the Mobile economy, and people just do not want to admit that, see that, or whatever, recognize it. But they need to straighten up and look at it and invest in the waterfront maritime industry that's down there.
I'm with you. The docks are the docks are going to get bigger and better if we can get the economy going again after the war. Yes,
they will. They will. Absolutely,
yes.
They will. The plans are there internally. I've been in meetings and stuff. I've seen what expansions are going to look like, and not everybody has vessels affected by the Strait of Hormuz. We're still getting vessels in. There's still a nice lineup every day of vessels coming in. You can go down to Dolphin Island and practically see them down at the pilot station across. And so not everybody is affected by it, and Mobile included, and we're still doing business down there and going to continue to do business down there. And like you said, it will expand and get better and better if people will just realize it and look forward and into that a little more than they'd want to do all the entertainment section of Mobile, which, in my opinion, doesn't drive a whole lot for the economy in Mobile like the maritime industry does, and will continue to.
Well, and just about,
and I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on Jimmy Kimmel. But Kimmel, that's a waste of airtime to talk about today on Hannity as well. I agree with you 100%.
Well, thank you for that. But yeah, the question: if we have 25,000 vehicles on Water Street, why do you want to put a park? Why do you want to build a park in the middle of it? I mean, where would they go? Can you tell me where they would go? Would all this traffic be rerouted several miles away? What are they going to do with all that traffic?
All right, and I'd love to see of the 25,000 traffic count. I'd love to know how many of those were trucks coming and going. And I say trucks. I'm talking about freight trucks, 18-wheelers coming and going, picking up and delivering freight out of there. I would imagine it's a pretty high number.
Well,
and who would want to be sitting down there walking in the park, worrying about somebody jumping the median and running over them, and there you'd be. I mean, who wants that?
Well, I know people fantasize.
I don't live in the city, and I think Spiro was a great move for the city. I really do, and I don't live in the city. I couldn't vote for it, so don't have a dog in the hunt on that side of it. But I think he's a little off on this one.
Well, we will all find out, won't we?
What did our great friend once say? Time holds the answer to all things.
Here is the quote.
And time holds the answer to everything. In time, we'll all know.
All right, sir. Anything else?
That is right up there with Great Scott. That's Uncle Henry from Jefferson Beauregard Sessions himself.
Sir, thank you very much for your phone call. And there he goes, elegantly hanging up on himself. Look, and I like young Mayor Spiro, too. I like a lot of his ideas. I understand the Mobilians fantasize about having a vibrant waterfront where they can get drunk up and down the waterfront. There's a huge fantasy of everybody wanting to be able to drunkenly walk up and down the side of the waterfront and just enjoy a debauchery up and down there. I understand that fantasy. But build pedestrian bridges over there. There's a tremendous amount of traffic that goes through there. Just build some pedestrian bridges. For a $25 million grant, but spend how many millions of dollars would it take to build some pedestrian bridges over there so we can still have the actual traffic? Because or are you going to build an elevated expressway? You're going to add that onto the bridge? Who knows? Maybe they can do that. But I still love roads. I like a newly paved road. I like a road without a speed bump in it or a traffic circle in it. I like a road for my vehicle to go down without a pothole on it.
We have an accident in Milton on Stewart Street at Firehouse Road. Also an accident with injury and road blockage in Milton, Highway 87 at Stubbs Road. And traffic is slow at the Bankhead Tunnel east on Highway 98. It's a 6-minute drive. East on the Bayway from I-65 to the Eastern Shore, a 30-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Point Broadband.
In our community, connection matters. Switch to Point Broadband today to get 1 gig fiber internet for just $49 a month, plus a $250 gift card and a 2-year price lock. Fast, reliable, unlimited data, all on a stronger, smarter 100% fiber network. Point Broadband, better than ever.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. Forensic testing has now confirmed the bodies found in Baldwin County as members of the Chalk family, according to the Mobile County Sheriff's Office. Investigators say Aurelia Chalk and her 2 children, 17-year-old Norika Zuleta Chalk and 2-year-old Anthony Garcia Chalk, had been missing since January. They were last seen at their home in Theodore. Investigators say their bodies were found in the woods off Downing Road in Baldwin County, and their family has been notified. In Mobile, a 64-year-old man is in Metro Jail after police say he forced his way into a woman's home at gunpoint last night. Police say it all happened around 9 p.m. on Brown Road. Investigators say Arthur Pledger entered the home with a handgun, looking for a gun he believed the woman had stolen from him earlier that day. He's now facing first-degree burglary charges. Students all across Mobile County had a seat at the table at a summit focused on workplace skills and community concerns. The iLead Youth Summit included workshops, listening sessions, and a panel with city leaders. Mayor Spiro Charagatis and Commissioner Merceria Ludgood say hearing directly from students is essential. Many students say they felt leaders were truly listening, especially on issues like violence and strengthening our community. You can get your latest news.
And I apologize for interrupting the news. I do not feel it's essential to hear from a student. Now, when they graduate, maybe.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. President Trump calling into the 5 on the Fox News channel. He was asked to expand on his statement that he's pausing destruction of Iran's energy plans through April 6th as talks to end this war continue.
The Iranians asked me to do that, and I was not happy with them because I made a statement that we're having productive negotiations. I don't know that they get there. Maybe they do, maybe they won't.
Iran has denied that it's directly negotiating with the U.S. The House passing another bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security, trying to end this partial shutdown. The Senate, though, failed another test vote that Majority Leader John Thune called the last and final. House Speaker Mike Johnson says it may come to extremes to get this department funded again.
How long is this going to go on? Are we going to wait till somebody brings a firearm on a passenger airplane? Are we going to wait till we have a natural disaster?
Democrats want to fund all agencies except for ICE. They've rejected a GOP-backed bill this week to do just that. America is listening to Fox News.
The newest YouTube viewers, if there's anybody left, let me check. Let me see. Let me activate the YouTube once again on the desktop. Yes, a small number of people looking in. Sharon of Fairhope, hello to you. Ben Griffin. Baldwin County, new census figures out. Baldwin County remains a top 10 nationwide destination. It's still a top 10 place to move. Top 10 for growth. Baldwin County. Top 10. Mobile still leaking people. According to the last census numbers, Mobile leaking people. And I'll have to admit, Baldwin County's becoming more attractive. You're building more Whataburgers over there. You're building more Jacks over there. They continue to add Fusaklis over there. There's a lot. Hey, Baldwin County looking. The more you build a Whataburger over there, the more attractive it is. Hello again to the Love Freak 69. Thank you for looking in on the program. Going to be back on the radio here in about 1 minute. I have one caller waiting to talk. I'm sure they disagree about something, and that's fine. I will lash out savagely. Let's see. Is there anything I can tell you about? The website Zillow has revealed a list of things they say will get you more money for your house. And they say now outdoor kitchens, outdoor showers, and outdoor fireplaces are extremely popular. More than ever before, that you can get your home price could go up by 4% when you sell it if you have any one of these outdoor features. I would not recommend an outdoor shower in Midtown.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
The Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It's 5:35. You can also hear me playing country music on FM radio Monday through Friday. I'm on 95 KSJ from 10 to 2 playing the country music. Tomorrow there's a Bailey Zimmerman concert down at the Wharf in Orange Beach. If you're headed down that way, look for me and Shelby Mitchell near Wharf Ticket Gate number 2, I believe. That is right down from Island Time Daiquiris at the Wharf. We're going to have all kind of prizes that we're giving out from 95 KSJ down at the Wharf tomorrow for the Bailey Zimmerman concert. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are live on the radio.
Hi, buddy. I just wanted to have a few points about the downtown and the Water Street. I kind of got a unique perspective. I've been working basically pretty much at the corner of Dolphin and Water Street for over 35 years. So probably 6 times a day I'm on Water Street from morning till afternoon. First point is that there are certain times in the morning where one side of the northbound Water Street will be blocked off for some reason, construction or whatever, and there will be a backup northbound all the way up to the ramp coming off of I-10. So that's one lane. So if they take it to one lane, that's going to be an everyday event.
Wow, okay.
Okay. Now, secondly, it's interesting. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something, the city decided they were going to repave Water Street and restripe it, and they made a bike lane on the southbound side of Water Street.
Yep.
And in 5+ years, I don't know how long it's been, but you know how many bicycles I've seen on it?
How many?
One.
Okay.
You used to be able to be kind of a turn lane to turn onto going southbound to turn onto Dolphin Street or onto Government, but you can't do that because it's a bike lane. All right, and then third point is that people talk about development of the downtown waterfront. Well, there is no land. You've got one postage stamp that is north of the convention center that's between the convention center and the state docks. State docks not going to give up any property.
Right.
And that postage stamp is where they're talking about doing the mixed-use Riverwalk thing with the hotel and the condos and all that, which I think is great.
Yes.
But when you go south from the convention center, you've got the Cooper Riverside Park, and then you've got a thin stretch in there, and then you hit the Maritime Museum.
Yep.
Well, once you hit the Maritime Museum, from there, that's the state of Alabama, which I actually sold that piece of property to the state of Alabama for the bridge. So there is no room for any significant development. And also what people don't understand is that property's in the floodplain. In Katrina, we had 5 feet of water in our office on Dolphin Street.
Yes.
So you can't build anything on the ground. You can't even have an Amtrak station unless it's open on 4 sides. So I don't understand all this talk about it. It sounds great, but we cannot get rid of Water Street. That was urban renewal in the 70s.
Yes.
Tore down dozens of our historic buildings. Those are gone. Water Street's there. You can't get rid of it. You can't make it pretty. You can put bridges over it, but that's the only way. All this other talk is just nonsense, in my opinion.
Sir, thank you so much for giving me your unique perspective on this. Because I remember when they made Water Street the way it is now. That's what frustrates me so much. Because they fought to make it that way, and now they don't like it.
Well, I will tell you this. I do use the bike lane as a turn lane going on to Government Street, but don't tell anybody.
Well, I won't, because everybody else is doing it too.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your phone call. Yes. And as I said, you know, and as he said, I'm not against developing anything down there. Would love to have it vibrant and have everybody love to go down there and just get to the waterfront and do whatever they want to do on the waterfront, whatever debauchery they got in mind. But what are you going to do with all that traffic? Are they what are they going to do with all what did the Lanyap article said, something like 25,000 vehicles a day? What are you going to do with them? You heard what he said happens when a lane gets blocked. 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Let me see. Let me go to the voicemails and see if I have any voicemail that I can share with you here on News Radio 710. The voicemail number is 251-216-1976. If you would like to leave an old-fashioned voice message, 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show.
Hey, Uncle Henry, I got a question for you. I hear that the farmers can't plant because the Straits of Hormuz are closed. I was just wondering, don't we have enough fertilizer in the United States, especially with the crap that the Democrat politicians and the leftists spew every day, that we have to get our crap from around the world? Just a question, Uncle Henry.
All right, hey, thank you for your voicemail. I'm not an expert on fertilizer. I wish I were, but I'm not, so I can't really answer that for you. But thank you for posing the question. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. Back to the voicemail.
Yes, sir, Henry. I just wanted to call and share something with you. I don't know if you know this or not. You probably do since you're on top of things. I get Newsmax out of a Pensacola station. There's a Christian station over in Pensacola, and they get Newsmax, and I heard something interesting this morning. I won't say interesting. I'll say almost a little bit disheartening. I heard that the chief negotiator with the Democrats on trying to get all this stuff cleared up is our very own little rhino, Katie Britt. And I hope she don't do it, but you watch. I just about tell you she's going to give them a blank check. If it keeps up, she's going to wind up giving them the bank. I hate it. I know Mitch McConnell had something to do with putting her in charge of the negotiations. This is sick, aggravating, high blood pressure, sick. Okay, bye-bye.
Sir, thank you. I appreciate your voicemail, 251-216-1976, to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show on voicemail. Now, when it comes to what's going on in the Senate and all these negotiations, I don't even know what to think about. I don't even know who up there is really being upfront about anything. Does it look like there's been any progress made at all on either side about getting anything done? Does it look like the Senate especially has done a dadgum thing since Trump has been in office? So much of it seems like let's just wait him out. Let's keep the status quo, as much status quo as we can, while Donald Trump is there. And then when he is finally out of office, then it can be status quo again with the Senate. I learned a long time ago from interviewing senators that this, as much as they may act like they're at each other's throats in the Senate, it is far more of a country club type of atmosphere. It is way more collegial than you would ever imagine. I won't go any further there. But is anything more frustrating than the people in the Senate representing us on both political parties? The Uncle Henry Show continues after the break.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
In Pensacola, we've got an accident, Pine Forest Road at West 9 Mile Road. Very slow on the Bayway, east on I-10. From I-65 to the Eastern Shore, it's a 52-minute drive. Crews are also on the scene of a crash in Milton, Highway 87 at Stubbs Road. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members buy more and save more, like up to 25% off select molding when you spend $1,000 or more. Shop Pro Savings Days deals now at Lowe's. Valid through 3/27.
YouTube viewers, let me check and see if anybody's still watching before I start continue to talk. To imaginary YouTube viewers. Hello to Chuck. And by the way, Chuck, yes, I do agree with them not going on break, maybe ever. So you and I agree on that. And by the way, Chuck bringing a stabilizing force to the chat room. I do appreciate that very, very much. Now, what else does it see? I saw somebody mention my blood pressure. I had it checked today. My blood pressure is fine today. In fact, I've got one of them. I've reached an age where I've got a blood pressure monitor at home. And the company I work for has some kind of health care plan where I've got a blood pressure thing that takes my blood pressure and automatically sends it away to somebody somewhere monitoring it. I guess that's how they can know when to lay me off. If my blood pressure gets too high, we need to lay that guy off. Philip Brunsing, hello to you. Thank you for listening without saying hello. But you did say hello, so thank you for saying hello, Philip Brunsing, representing the silent minority. All right, let me see, what can I tell you while in the commercial breaks? Waiting to go back on the radio, going back on the radio. In a moment, let me go back to the weird news file and see if I can find some legitimate weird news. In Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, there is a building that is a historic building that is considered a key part of the founding history of Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, and the residents there are upset because there's a plan to turn this historic building into a Slinky museum. Now, the Slinky was created in that town. But people wish they'd find a different location for the Slinky Museum. Now, see, wouldn't that be a great problem? If that was the only problem you had in your town, where are we going to put the Slinky Museum? That'd be a good problem. All right, let's see. Scientists at CERN, C-E-R-N, they say they pulled off what might be the most nerve-wracking road trip in history. Tuesday of this week, they said they took 92 antiprotons out of their lab. It's a form of antimatter And they say that they put these protons in a truck and drove it around Geneva, Switzerland for about a half an hour. The antiprotons had to be kept from touching literally anything because contact with any ordinary matter would cause instant annihilation. Now, why are they doing this? Why would they want to drive it around? What if somebody ran? What if there was a car wreck? What if there was a teenage girl doing something for TikTok and then slammed into the antimatter truck? What is the, why? What? And how do we believe this is true? Because how do you, if somebody says they got antimatter, how are you going to prove it? Without annihilation.
WNTM, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It is 5:50. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. I got another voicemail I want to check here on the Uncle Henry Show. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave me and the listeners a message.
Hey, it's Pat and Nellie. Hope you have a great afternoon.
By the way, I have not confirmed this is the real Pat Nelly. Someone claiming to be.
Hey, listen, I think I've told you before that I got a friend that she's been driving over to Pensacola to get her little hemp seltzers. And that all of those products, hemp products in the state of Alabama, are now controlled by the ABC board. Go figure. So they can get all their tax revenue. Well, it's been approved that all the localities in the state of Alabama can reapprove their cities or counties or whatever for licensing for these hemp products. But since all this has been reapproved, which has been a minute, there's only been 10 people that have gotten those licenses through their local jurisdictions, of which only 3 in Mobile have got it. But after reading in Lagniappe...
Oh, by the way, I read the same story today in the Lagniappe.
The reason why they cite that these licenses haven't been approved is just a slow process and a lot of red tape, and all these retailers are still stuck with old stock in their storerooms that they purchased thinking it was legal, and it's not. But it is, but it's not. You would think that Mobile would want the extra revenue and would approve these licenses a little faster. I don't know. I remember you had those city councilmen on, and they seem to be real nice, upstanding people, but you ask them about that, and they just seem to kind of roll their eyes and giggle about it. I guess we just got too much money here in Mobile, Alabama. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you had a great afternoon. And roll Tide.
Roll!
Here comes the spring game.
Tide roll. Thank you. Pat Nelly or someone claiming to be, thank you for your voicemail. I think I saw a story on Fox 10 about this last night. And if I can find it, I'll try to play it in the next segment of the show after 6 o'clock. I will try to find the Fox News story on the city of Mobile and them trying to make it legal for these businesses that have all this stock. I'll try and find the story for you, and I'll try and play it for you in the next segment of the show after 6 o'clock here on News Radio 710 WNTM. But thank you for the message. And for those that are seeking that, I wish you the best. Now, I don't quite understand the issue completely. I understand all the stuff I read in Lagniappe about it, but the way they make these products aren't all of those products going to disappear at the end of this year anyway? Isn't the federal government closing that loophole in the law where you're not going to be able to make those products? Again, I don't know yes or no on that, but isn't this all going to be something you won't be able to sell again next year? I don't know. Well, I guess I need to double check and read more in the Lagniappe about all that. But again, it's not the hemp seltzers, not my cup of tea. But for those that it is, more power to you when legal. All right, let's see. Almost out of time. I saw another story today. Fox News was reporting that there is a museum out in Las Vegas. The Wax Museum out in Las Vegas is now replaced its security guard with a robot dog. And their robot dogs are replacing security guards in Atlanta. I saw that also. But also Las Vegas, they've got a robot dog replacing the security guard at this Wax Museum out in Las Vegas. And it says a lot. That in itself is kind of a tourist attraction. People want to see the robot dog. But it makes me feel sorry for the human being security guard. I've mentioned this before, I think, on the air. Isn't it? It's bad enough to be replaced by a robot, but to get replaced by a robot dog. I mean, if we're going to replace human beings with robots, either make them humanoid robots or make them don't make them in animal form. Can we have a little dignity left? I don't want to be sad that I got replaced by a robot. It's a dog. Robot dog.
Secure.
All right, those watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. I'm going to turn the camera off, but I'll be back on in the 6 o'clock hour with more stuff. I'm going to try and find the story about the hemp seltzers in Mobile. And tomorrow, I will be running a rerun because I'm going to be in Orange Beach tomorrow for the Bailey Zimmerman concert. Very exciting for the youngsters. Have a pleasant evening and a pleasant tomorrow and weekend, YouTube viewers.
Proliferation of weapons of mass destruction to countering terrorism.
He said his team works to make America safer, in part by
protecting American technological and military advantages.
And that while they operate out of the spotlight,
our wide-ranging responsibilities are essential.